वंदेहम श्री गुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्री गुरुं वैष्णवां च श्री रूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादललिता श्री शाखान्वितां च ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे ओम विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्म श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत नारायण इति नामिने नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवासवानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धे कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्जल प्रेमाद्य श्री रूपानुग भक्ति श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धापप सिद्धांत हारिणे पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिशे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते। If you have books, this Mangalacharan prayer, please repeat along with me. नमो हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु
कृष्ण
दीनबंधु
दीनबंधु
जगतपते
जगत्पते
गोपेश गोपिका
गोपिका
कांत राधा
कांता
कांत
राधा
नमोस्तुते।
कांता नमोस्तुते
सप्त कांचन
वंदना
गौरंगी राधे
राधे
वृंदावनेश्वरी
वृंदावनेश्वरी
वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जयतां सुरतो पंगुर मम मंदमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्बोजो श्री राधा मदन मोहन दिव्यात् बृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमद श्रीमद रत्नांगर सिंहासनस्थौ श्री राधा शील गोविंद देव पृष्ठाल विसेव्यमानौ स्मरामि। श्रीमन्रासरसारमेवं श्रीमत ततस्थित कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपि गोपीनाथ श्रियेस्तुनः वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय कृष्ण भक्ति
कृष्ण भक्ति
प्रदेदे
सत्यवताय
सत्यवताय नमो नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्ति शक्तिकं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। बोलो एवरीबॉडी हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
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 हरे राम राम
राम राम
राम
हरे
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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
कृष्ण
कृष्ण कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण
हरे
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 राम
राम
राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण
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 हरे
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
हरे हरे
हरे राम
हरे
राम
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 हरे
हरे
हरे।
हरे
हरे
बोलो
कृष्णा
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय,
जय
श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, गौड़िताय राधा रमन गिरिराज गिरि गोवर्धन की जय,
जय
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय,
जय
सेवंथ कैंटो की जय, सुखदेव गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय हो।
जय
Prabhupada's translation purports की जय हो।
जय
हृदय
जय
गौर
हो
आनंदे हरि
नंदो
हरि।
हरे हरे
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम
Everybody,
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायण नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवी
देवं सरस्वती व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
तो
ततो
जय
जनम दीरे।
Translation: before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Naranaran Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Shinvadam Swakata Krishna
Bhagavatam Krishna
Punya Shravana Kirtanaha
Purna Shravana Kirtanaha
Hridyantastoya Badrani
Hridayantastu Abhadrani
Vidunoti Surat Satam.
Jurnoti Hridusakham.
Read the translation. Shamrasika, if you have the book.
I don't have book.
Okay. Anybody else who has the book there? Looks like not. Okay, I'll read the translation. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment. From the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, and which are in themselves virtuous and properly heard and chanted. Nashta prayesha vadreshu
Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu
nityam bhagavata sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
bhagavati uttama shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
bhaktir bhavati naistiki.
Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki.
By regular attendance in classes from the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, is established as an irrevocable fact. Srimad Bhagavatam. So now we are reading from chapter Canto 7, text 10. Today's verse is 12. Let's just go to the last verse. Text 11. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Naikantino me mai jatva ita shisha asha sate mutra chaye bhavat vidha tatapi manvantaram etat atra daiteshwaranam anubhungshva bhogan. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Prahlad, a devotee like you never desires any kind of material opulence, either in this life or in the next. Nonetheless, I order you to enjoy the opulence of the demons in this material world, acting..." Oh no. What is going on here? I need that stand, Janaki. Okay. Haribol. Everybody is there?
Yes, Prabhuji, we are listening.
Haribol.
I order you to enjoy the opulence of the demons in this material world, acting as their king until the end of the duration of time occupied by Manu. Purport. This is the 11th verse. One Manu lives for a duration of time calculated to be an aggregate of 71 yuga cycles, each of which are equals to 4,300,000 years. Although atheistic men like to enjoy material opulence and they endeavor with great energy to build big residences, roads, cities, and factories, unfortunately, they cannot live more than 80, 90, or at most 100 years. Although the materialist exerts so much energy to create a kingdom of hallucinations, he is unable to enjoy it for more than a few years. However, because Prahlad Maharaj is a devotee, the Lord allowed him to enjoy material opulence as the king of the materialists. Prahlad Maharaj had taken birth in the family of the Hiranyakashipu, who was the topmost materialist. And since Prahlad was the bona fide heir of his father, the Supreme Lord allowed him to enjoy the kingdom created by his father for so many years that no materialist could calculate them. A devotee does not have to desire material opulence, but if he is a pure devotee, there is ample opportunity for him to enjoy material happiness also, without personal endeavor. Therefore, everyone is advised to take to devotional service under all circumstances. If one desires material opulence, he can also become a pure devotee and his desires will be fulfilled. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagvatam 2.3.10, Akama sarva kamava moksha kama udaridi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, or whether he desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worships the Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental loving service. This was yesterday's verse, which sort of doesn't prevent a pure devotee also from enjoying this world, because the Lord gives him that facility. Even the devotee doesn't care for all these things, doesn't even desire for such things. But being in the material world, you get facilities to enjoy the material facilities. But he has a spiritual intelligence which makes him use all this opulence what he has in the service of the Lord. Unlike the normal demons nowadays, they just do the most ugra karmic activities. Activities that create a lot of miseries to oneself, to others, and everybody. But as a pure devotee enjoys material opulence in the service of the Lord, and then he doesn't create any problem. Rather, in the ancient India, we can see that many kings, they made beautiful temples for the Lord and a lot of facilities of prasadam distribution, satsang, kirtan. This was the only purpose of all their wealth which they accumulated. Especially, they were very good managers and they collected taxes from all the business people and everybody. And they used that money in building beautiful temples. In South India, you go there, there's one place, in one rock, he constructed a whole temple. How they did it, nobody can understand. In one solid rock, no joints, all pillars, this, that, DT room, parikrama mark, and everything. It's incredible. So they engage. Engage means you have to engage so many craftsmen who are expert in this work, paying them good money. Otherwise, nobody would engage in that service. So the pure devotees, what they do, they engage the money in Krishna's service. Like Prabhupada, his BBT, it was growing nicely. He started with a few books and a couple of trunks of books. And then gradually he distributed millions of books with the help of his disciples, assisting him. And he collected a lot of money. And he built 3 major temples in India. One is Bombay, which he promised to Radha Rasbihari, because Radha Rasbihari was in a little hut in the front, in the present day temple's front. And he promised Radha Rasbihari, please bear with me, I'll build a nice temple for you. And he built it. By the time he left this world, this was only a couple of months before the inauguration was done. The inauguration was done on Sankrantri, Makara Sankrantri. I don't remember the year now. I remember I was there. We had a fabulous inauguration ceremony. Hundreds and thousands of people came. And Radha Rasi Bihari stayed in this wonderful, beautiful palace. It's a beautiful palace of marble. And there were big festivals even today, a lot of kirtan, chanting. Thousands and thousands of people would come there every day for darshan. This is the whole contribution of the pure devotee to the society, for the society. Jana Seva. But how to do the Jana Seva? Spiritually, by giving them the chance, by giving the people, the Jana, the chance to have darshan of the Lord in their full opulence. Because by having darshan, they could remember, impressions would go deep within their mind and heart. And they can, while coming there, they will hear the holy name. While going out of the temple, they'll be remembering the holy name. They'll be performing kirtan on their own, and they take some prasadam with them. for their house or friends or whatever, whomever it is. And this way, they come again and again and again and hear Harikatha. They invite devotees to their homes. This is the whole purpose of human life. Nothing else. All work should be done, whatever work one is doing, only for this purpose, to have Krishna in the center of the house, the center of the home. Krishna should be the purpose for our existence. And this Prabhupada has set up that example. The second temple was Vrindavan, you know, Krishna Balram temple, Radha Sham Sundarji, Lalita Vishaka, Gaurnitai. And the first time Prabhupada had his own deities there. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and then Prabhupada. Not an ordinary feature. Normally, when a guru is alive, they will not worship on the altar, but he did it. And the third one was he put the foundation for the new temple which is being built in Mayapur. The temple of Vedic understanding, Vedic knowledge of his. So this is the purpose which Prahlad Maharaj was given by Nrsimhadev to enjoy life, because after all he is a householder. Prahlad was not a sannyasi, he was a householder. And he had wife, children, and his grandson became another great devotee, Bali Maharaj. So they had so much power and opulence, everything. He was actually king of the demons, actually. And demigods were also very happy with him because he was always absorbed in remembering Krishna. And therefore, he was given that full facility, knowing fully well he will not abuse even one cent for his own purpose. He did that. It was his very exemplary personality, Prahlad Maharaj. He lived for a very long time. And he never took vanaprastha also. He never took the renounced order of life. Now, normally it is said varnashram means at the age of 50 you have to leave the home and then take sannyas and this. But he never did that. Prabhupada said, but he remained very humble. If you don't take sannyas, you better remain humble. That's the only option. And that is a better option, because sannyas can create pride, because renunciation has a certain inbuilt thing. Especially if it has no connection with Krishna, then pride will come. You'll think I am become Brahman. I'm God. But if somebody understands his position as an insignificant, minute particle of spiritual particle of the Lord, and all his energies are meant to satisfy this minute particle to the satisfaction of the Bhoktaram Yagatapasam, for giving Krishna the pleasure. Krishna himself says, Bhoktaram Yagatapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram Surad Sarvadehinam Yatma Bham Shantim Richati. But no one attains perfect peace by engaging oneself, even though we are insignificant. The soul, you cannot see the soul. When you cannot see your mind and intelligence, but the soul is still subtler than mind intelligence. So subtle that he is able to maintain this body by his consciousness. So we are very insignificant, and our position is that we are natural servants of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Nityara Krishna Das. The Swarup of the Jiva is Nityara Krishna Das. So if we come to this conclusion, that's what Prahlad Maharaj concluded in his life. He's an eternal servant of Krishna. So we are coming to today's verse, text 12. Please repeat after me. Kata Madiyam. Everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Kata Madiyam
Jusmanaha
Jushmahana
Priyastvam
Priyastam
Aveshya
Aveshya
Mam Atmani
Atmani
Tantam
Dantam
Ekam Sarveshu
सर्वेषु
Bhuteshva
भूतेषु
Adiyajnam
अधियज्ञम्
Isham
ईशं
Yajasva
यजस्व
Yogena
योगेन
Cha
च
Karma
कर्म
Invan
इन्वन्
Katamadiya Jusamana Priyastvam Aveshamam Atmani Santamekam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Adiyajnam Isham Yajasva Yogena Chakarma Hinvan. Translation: it does not matter that you are in the material world. You should always continuously hear the instructions and the messages given by me, and always be absorbed in thought of me. For I am the super soul existing in the core of everyone's heart. Therefore, give up fruitive activities and worship me. Here Krishna is speaking in first person, I, me, and mine. Purport. When a devotee becomes materially very opulent, one should not think that he is enjoying the results of his fruitive activities. A devotee in this material world uses all material opulence for the service of the Lord because he is planning how to serve the Lord with these opulences, as advised by the Lord himself. Whatever material opulence is within his possession, he engages to expand the glories in the service of the Lord. A devotee never performs any fruitive or ritualistic ceremony to enjoy the results of such karma. Rather, a devotee knows that karma kanda is meant for the less intelligent men. Narottam Das Thakur says in this Prema Bhakti Chandrika, Karma kanda, Jnana kanda, Kevala Vishera Bhanda. Both karma kanda and jnana kanda, fruitive activities and speculation about the Supreme Lord, are like pots of poison. One who is attracted to karma kanda and jnana kanda spoils his existence as a human being. Therefore, a devotee is never interested in karma kanda or jnana kanda, but is simply interested in favorable service to the Lord, anukulena krishnanushilanam, or cultivation of spiritual activities in devotional service. Now, Krishna here, as Nrsimhadevi, directly gives instructions to Prahlad. And naturally, he gives instructions to all of us who want to follow the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj. He says, it does not matter that you are in the material world. You should not worry about liberation, becoming free from birth and death. All these things we don't have to worry about. You should always continuously hear the instructions and messages given by me, and always be absorbed in thought of me, for I am the super soul existing in the core of everyone's heart. So this is what we are supposed to do. Continuously hear the instructions and messages given by me, by Krishna, and always be absorbed in thought of me. The whole idea is the mind, whatever the thoughts that come into the mind at the time of death, that will decide what body you get into it in the material world. Similarly, the same mind must be absorbed in hearing the instructions and messages given by Krishna, and always be absorbed in thought of. Now, if you practice this, and if you go to the temple every day, or if you worship the temple deity in the house every day, then we are seeing the form of the Lord, we are decorating, we are offering garlands and performing arati, bhoga. Why do we do all these things every day? So that our mind becomes absorbed in thoughts of the Lord and his wonderful pastimes. Because one can give up the body any minute, just like that. It can happen. Nowadays, it is even faster, because the lifestyle is so life on the fast lane. Anything can happen. Therefore, our whole purpose is to regulate our life, mold our life in such a way that we are thinking of Krishna all the time. Yes, and always be absorbed in thought of me. Some or other we should think of Krishna. Everything we do must be in relationship with Krishna. You build a house, you have to know Who is the owner of this house? Who is going to enjoy the house? The Lord. The owner is the Lord. Even though you may be nowadays, according to modern legal standards, it be on somebody's name, but actually for us, it is the Lord's house. It is for the sake of the Lord, for His service, so that the Lord is worshipped and His devotees are welcome, and every chance one gets to come together, to have kirtan and hear Harikatha. That's all the simple thing one has to do in this human form. And the rest is taken care of by the Lord. After the Lord is creating air, we don't have to create air. He is creating sunshine. We never could create a sunshine. Everything, if you see water, we don't have to create water. Maybe we have to dig a little well just to take our needs for the water. And that's how Vedic culture was there. Every village, every few houses, they had a well. And the devotees would go take some water from the well to their homes to perform their devotional activities. Not to get involved in the Ugra karmic activities, this mammoth, like a ghost, like a drag we are making a modern society where people have no time for making taking the steps to get some welfare activities for oneself and to others. It's hardly done. Therefore, everybody is suffering. All the people, including from the top to the bottom, they're all suffering. Therefore, one has to give up such activities. One should not get involved. At least as soon as one becomes a devotee, make life as simple as possible. Otherwise, one will get entangled, because material nature is meant for that purpose, to entangle all living entities. Like a prison house, Prabhupada tells. The prisoner is, the prison superintendent is making sure that everybody behaves properly, otherwise beat him up nicely. They get their little bread and butter or whatever they have to eat, and then they cannot argue on any point. They have no freedom. And therefore they're meant to suffer them. Little cells they have. They treat everybody like an animal, like a dog in a cage. This is what is today's apartment houses. There's not even a green space around us. Everybody is busy making apartments. And the whole struggle is, but they take money from the bank and they have to repay that. They'll be working very hard to repay that money. So this one should not get involved. Try to build a house or make a house, whatever one wants, in a simplest possible way. Don't make it too extravagant. If you have millions of dollars, you can make a little nice house. According to your karma, you will get a nice house. But the whole idea is to keep that house. What is the center of the house? That is Krishna. The main room must be for Krishna, where everybody can come together for performing arti, chanting, dancing, hearing, doing bhajans and kirtans in the house. We have a whole song book, which is such a thick song book, hundreds of bhajans in it. And there are so many festivals throughout the year. And there are appropriate bhajans for every situation. Kartik comes, then there's a morning, there's a whole session of bhajans. Evening, there's a session of bhajans. And wherever one goes to visit different places of Krishna's pastime, there are appropriate bhajans. So bhajan singing is very important, bhajan and kirtan. That's what Prabhupada came to the West and to the whole world, to introduce this very significant culture, spiritual culture, for every one of us. You have a purpose for cooking. Even cooking is considered as a part of archana, worshipping the Lord. So one should meditate. What vegetables I have in my garden, and pick it up and make a nice little offering. You can make one sabji, rice, dal, chapati, or make two sabjis or three sabjis, make a raita, make one sweet, some nice sweet. Make one sweet for a few days, burfi or special types of sweets. They have this in West. They have this sweets called marzipan. You take the almonds, boil it, and take off the skin, and you make them into a paste. I remember in our temples in Germany, they used to make this marzipan kugel, and they would put some vanilla flavor or something like that. Very good. Or you can make nuts, hazelnuts, or cashew nuts, or almond. You bake them, roast them, make them into powder, and then make a laddu out of it. Or you can make candied cashew nuts, candied different nuts with a little sugar. You crystallize. What is it called? What is it called, Janaki? Sugar, when you roast it, brown it up, brown color you make it, and then you put the nuts and roast the nuts along with the
Caramel.
yes, thank you so much. Caramelize. And then you roast the nuts along with the caramelized sugar. And then the nuts also get roasted and they get coated with some sugar. Beautiful. There's so many sweets. I mean, in India is an ocean of sweets. You make gulab jamuns, you can make rasgulla, sandesh, stuffed sandesh, stuff the sandesh with different type of fruit purees. And then you make sweet rice, and there are different types of sweet rices in different parts of India. You can make sweet rice with coconut milk or sweet rice with regular milk. In Kerala, we used to make a payasam. At the end, we put a thick coconut milk in it and mix it up and put some cardamom, cashew nuts. This is extremely beautiful. Pongal, they call it. Chakra pongal, Vella pongal. Vellam means good. Chakra means sugar. Generally, the color is different. So all these nice things one can make it every day in small quantities. I remember when I was in Germany, we used to make different sweets for the Lord, small quantities. And we make for every offering is a different sweet. So these are all something. Even halava. Oh, how many flavors of halava? 108 flavors we used to make. Different halavas for different days. So this is what we should be meditating. What should I make for the Lord today? Strawberry halwa or blueberry halwa. You make a nice halwa, then you put raw blueberries in it, one little stir, not too much. Otherwise they'll break. And the whole halwa will have a flavor of blueberry, strawberry, raspberry, so many berries. Pineapple halwa. This halwa alone you can make about 10, 15 varieties. And of course in South India they have this beautiful gaja like they have in Jagannath Puri. They make it with ghee, this dough, and put very nicely, flake it up, then fry it, then put it in sugar syrup. These are sweets that will last for a long time, month or two, even more than that you can keep it. There are many, many sweets like that. They're called sugar cubes. They're like this very far out taste, like a little cube. And this sugar cube is dipped, becomes like a sugar cube because it's dipped in sugar, thick syrup of sugar. And this will last for a couple of months. If you get an urge to take sweet, you just take that. You offer such things to the Lord. At least in India, Indian women, our Matajis, our mothers, they were expert in making different things for different festivals. And in the West, you're all staying there. Actually, you're all staying so far away from each other. But you will get a chance to make something nice. Engage your mind in Krishna's service by singing some nice songs while cooking. That's another thing. While performing devotional service, like the gopis of Vrindavan, they have to sweep their front yard of their homes. They put cow dung, they put rangoli, they light a lamp, they have a tulsi there. And before the sun comes up, when it is still, the light is still bluish color, not reddish. Red means sun has already come. Before that itself, they finish up all this outside work. That gives a lot of pleasure to the Lord. And then they come inside and they take their shower and do things and then perform arati, wake up the Lord and perform an arati. This is what our Lord is recommending. One becomes absorbed in the Lord. How to absorb one's mind in the Lord. It's not a boring thing. Every day you be creative, see what you can do. We are growing a lot of vegetables here, organic vegetables. And we're getting so many every day, 2-3 eggplants. We are only 2 people, 2-3 eggplants is more than enough. And every day, day after day, you get 2 eggplants, 3 eggplants, then it's a lot of beans, and it's climbing like a creeper. You get bunches of beans, beautiful seam is called. It's a broad beans, and cauliflowers, cabbages, carrots. Now this winter time, this is the type of vegetables one can grow. And then tomatoes, you can make so many types of tomato, liquid tomato sweets. That will also last for a long time. And if you have a vacuum packet, you'll get tomato sauce. Whenever you want, any time of the year, it is available. So things should be like that, everything excess should be done. And then you can also give charity to others. Make your own butter and ghee, and first class ghee you can make. Put different flavors. There's also can do ginger flavor, and this betel leaf, pan ka patta, the end of the pan ka patta, where there's a little twig, you cut it and throw it in the butter cooking, and the ghee has such an aroma. Like that, there are so many ways to make life delicious for Krishna. Radha Govinda Maharaj recently was giving a class how Mother Yashoda has so much anxiety about Krishna. She would make a tiffin and he keeps going after the boys, tells the boyfriends and the dasas, see, Krishna gets hungry every half an hour. Please make sure you give him something to eat. He likes to climb trees, but make sure he doesn't climb the trees, because if he falls down, there'll be a big problem. And Krishna is going barefoot. He doesn't have shoes, or like nowadays we have all these big shoes to walk around. We are out of touch with even Mother Earth. And there's a lot of beautiful energy that the body gets from the earth itself. People, the farmers, they go barefoot. That's why they are also healthy. They get up early in the morning. They have to go take care of the different things, the situation. So one should do all these things. And this way, we are living for the Lord's purpose, for the Lord's pleasure. Not that the Lord is for our pleasure, but we are living for the Lord's pleasure. Therefore, I am the super soul existing in the core of everyone's heart, Krishna said. Therefore, give up fruitive activities and worship me. The whole idea is how to give Lord the pleasure every day, like your own children. You want to make sure your children are happy in the house. They get sufficient things to eat and sufficient dress. So similarly, Lord must be made part of the family. Krishna must be part of the family, Radha and Krishna. And you give them all sort of nice services. Through Kirtan, it's very simple actually. And this is the state of the lifestyle in the spiritual world. What do they do in the spiritual world? The same thing. So if there are any questions at this point, you can ask before I go to the next one. Anybody has any questions?
No, Prabhuji.
What about Gita?
Hare Krishna,
Vallari?
Prabhuji. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. What about Manoj?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, very nice explanation. Right now, I don't have a question.
Okay. What about Vallari? Vallari. And Surinder Bhandari?
Prabhuji, no question. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, no question. Thank you very much. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Actually, I do have a question. Now you reminded
Please.
me. Yeah, so
Okay.
I see in Vrindavan people, they go bare feet, and some of them even lie down and take the parikrama and all. So I know this is all Shraddha. But what do you have to say for that, Prabhuji?
What do I have to say? That is wonderful. If you can do it, it's wonderful. You don't need so much to go for parikrama in Vrindavan. I remember one time we were going and suddenly there was a house there. And the lady was making rotis outside the house. She had 3 little bricks and then she put a tawa and she was making with her hand like this, like that, like that, and make a thick. And they put the roti, and then when the top tawa, the roti is heated up, then they throw the roti in the fire. It becomes like a nice bulges out. Now we were going around, we were doing a parikrama, and we went to this house, and they just gave us every one of them one roti and a glass of buttermilk. And these people were making all these things for by inviting the sadhus. Whoever comes, they will get something to eat. This is the householder's duty. No guest should go without taking prasadam. So you can do very simply parikrama. If you have a few male members, along with their male members, the females go with them to the different places. And you lie down anywhere in that area. If you sleep near a pond or a thing, you just go and take a dip. Boom, boom, boom. People also take dip in Radha Kund, Sham Kund. There's no need of soap or anything. You just rub yourself nicely, take another dip, you're freshened up. And the clothes they wear, especially the ladies, they just squeeze the cloth and spread it on the wall or anything, anywhere, so that the clothes get dried up. People do that even now. Especially Radha Kund. And then they get up very early actually. They go to Mangalarti. There are many temples there around Radha Kund. They go to Mangalarti and they sometimes perform an arti to Radha Kund, Sham Kund. Things like that.
So these two kunds are next to each other, right? Radha
Yeah, they are next to each other. There's hardly any big separation. It's only a 2-3 feet, 4 feet separation. That's all. It's a sangam. The water that goes underneath the walking place is called sangam. So all these things are there. Of course, these are generally the Babajis and sadhus. They live like that. They are not married. They have nothing to worry about it. They just live in so many forests are there. They just live with whatever means they have. Their main life is focused on bhajan.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Jai. Any other question? Otherwise, we'll read the verse 13. Bhogena. Everybody repeat.
Bhogena
Punyam
punyam
kushalena
kushalena
papam
papam
kalevaram
kalevaram
kala
Kala
javena
Javena
hitva
Hitva
kirtim
Kirtim
vishuddham
Shuddham
suraloka
Suraloka
geetam
Hitam
vitaya
Vitaya
mam eshyasi
Ishyasi
mukta
Mukta
bandha
Bandha
Bhogena punyam kushalena papam kalevaram kalat javena hitva kirtim vishuddham suraloka geetam vitaya mam eshyasi mukta bandha. Translation. My dear Prahlad, while you are in the material world, you will exhaust all the reactions of pious activity by feeling happiness. And by acting piously, you will neutralize impious activity. Because of the powerful time factor, you will give up your body, but the glories of your activities will be sung in the upper planetary systems. And being fully freed from all bondage, you will return back home, back to Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Evam Prahladasyam Shena Sadhana Siddhatvam Nitya Siddhatvam Cha Narada Divij Myayam. There are two classes of devotees, the Sadhana Siddha and the Nitya Siddha. Prahlad is a mixed Siddha. That is, he is perfect partly because of executing devotional service and partly because of eternal perfection. Thus he is compared to such devotees as Narada. Formerly Narada Muni was the son of a maid servant, and therefore in his next birth he attained perfection, sadhana siddhi, because of having executed devotional service. Yet he is also a nitya siddha because he never forgets the Supreme Personality of God. The word kushalena is very important. One should live in the material world very expertly. The material world is known as the world of duality because one sometimes has to act in impiously and sometimes one has to act piously. Although one does not want to act impiously, the world is so passionate that there is always danger. Padam padam yadpi padam. Thus, even when performing devotional service, a devotee has to create many enemies. A devotee has to create many enemies. Prahlad Maharaj himself had this experience, of this, for even his father became his enemy. A devotee should expertly manage to think always of the Supreme Lord so that the reactions of suffering cannot touch him. This is expert management of papa punya, pious and impious activities. An exalted devotee like Prahlad Maharaj is Jivan Mukta, is liberated even this very life in the material world. Wonderful verses and wonderful purpose. It is not like, it makes this point very clearly, if one performs duties, it's not like all activities are all 100% pious. Sometimes impious activities also come. Like you have to pay tax to the government. And the government is using money for all sort of ugra karmic activities, mostly impious activities. What can you do? You have to pay your tax, otherwise you will have difficulties living in that place. So the impious activities is done indirectly. Because you are paying your tax. Like even Nanda Maharaj had to go to Mathura to pay tax. So even he was a pure devotee, associate of the Lord, the father of Krishna. He has to go and pay tax to Nanda Maharaj, Kamsa. Not that you are pure devotee, you don't pay tax to anybody. No, no. If you're living in a system, and the system is always there. And if you're a king who's taking taxes from the people, you have to also provide facilities for the people. Otherwise, the people will revolt. So both pious and impious activities are done even in a devotee's life. But one has to, as Prabhupada says, one has to be very expert. A devotee should expertly manage to think always of Lord Krishna so that the reactions of suffering cannot touch him. This is expert management of papa and punya, pious and impious activity. An exalted devotee like Prahlad Maharaj is Jivan Mukta, he is liberated even in this very life in the material body. So this is called expert management. And you should be able to somehow or other train our minds because we have so much transcendental knowledge, Shastra Shakshu. Our vision should be based on Shastras. Everything that is happening to us should be connected to the Shastras. See how great devotees performed managed their life previously. You know, when our, what is his name? Draupadi, they were all living in the forest. So Duryodhan sent Durvasa Muni to her so that he will go with the 60,000 disciples and they'll have to cook the food. Especially he would send Durvasa Muni after their lunch. Then the patra, Akshaya Patra, would be empty. She got this benediction. She got this pot. I think, I don't know from whom, that she can feed as many people as she can until she eats. And once she eats, it will not produce the food. So Durvasa Muni did as usual, that's our Duryodhan. He wanted to always give trouble to Pandavas. So he sent Durvasa Muni exactly at that time when Draupadi finishes eating. And then Draupadi was in total anxiety because Yudhishthira Maharaj told the Munis, please come for prasadam. So please take bath in the river and you come back. But Draupadi knew there is no food in the place. She was in total anxiety because this will now, sadhu has been invited, a sadhu like Durvasa who would get angry at every little step, and he would and then they cannot feed them. You invite somebody and there's no food in the house. It's terrible. So Draupadi was thinking of Krishna very intensely. Krishna, if you just help. And suddenly Krishna showed up there. Oh, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Draupadi thought, oh my goodness, now I'm wondering about how to feed Durvasa, and suddenly Krishna is also hungry. Then she said, Krishna, what can I do? My pot I finished eating, now the pot will not produce anything. Then Krishna said, please bring that pot here. And he was looking, the whole pot was empty, but there was a little rice or spinach, something was there, and he took it in the mouth, and then, oh, I'm so sad. He was satisfied. And that in turn made the sage's stomach, belly full, and they were also thought, okay, bhai, our stomachs are so full now, we cannot go back to Yudhishthira Maharaj because he must have cooked a feast, and then we are not eating anything. So they just went from the river straight to the further place on their further journey. So this was a situation which was created for Draupadi. And Draupadi simply by pleasing Krishna. And what did she please with a little, some spinach was sticking to the pot, nothing big thing to eat. But Krishna was very happy. He was very pleased, and that pleasure of Krishna protected her from all problems. So in every situation you can see this papa and punya will be done by all devotees, irrespective whether devotees or non-devotees. Non-devotees, of course, their life is full of impious activities. But even devotees have to go through this. Draupadi also had. Suddenly she was worried about the whole thing, how to feed all these 60,000 people. Not a small number. That had a big yatra of Radhanath Maharaj Yatra, Mayapur Yatra. 10,000 people came and they had a huge kitchen, this, that, a big, big time work and endeavor was done. Whereas these 5 Pandavas with Draupadi, there's no big time endeavor, there's no big time kitchen, 60,000 people at one shot. But we have so many incidences like this in the history, where the women folk, they were able to feel pure devotees who are pure devotees, they could satisfy Krishna in such a simple way. Similarly, Ramchandra was getting this bear from this Ahalya, I think. What is his name? I think Ahalya. She gave the bear after tasting this fruit. In India, it's very popular.
Shabri, Prabhuji. Shabri.
Shabri, yeah. Thank you. So she gave the bear, which was tasted by her first, and then she gave it to Ram. She wanted to make sure it is sweet enough, tasty enough for Ramchandra. And Ramchandra was very pleased. So there are many, 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 many examples in the Vedic history, men and women performing pure devotion service. And one should manage our life based on this Shastra Shakshu. Because these are all in the Bhakti Shastras. like Bhagvatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, and other very important Puranas, especially the Satvika Puranas, Padma Purana, Vishnu Purana, and so many things. And we should conduct our life like that. Shastras, I mean, I generally put my lectures of Prabhupada or Radha Govinda Maharaj lectures every day so that I could hear while performing my devotional service. It's very important to hear lectures. And each pure devotee has a very special way of explaining these pastimes of the Lord. This one should do that. There's so many simple, it is very simple thing actually to be Krishna conscious, not so hard. Only that because we are fallen souls for many millions of lifetimes, our mind has all these tentacles in the material world, the form of family, friendship, society, and life. And we get all entangled. And even the Pandavas, they had tentacles everywhere, but ultimately Krishna finished all their problems by bringing everybody to the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And only 5 brothers were left. He removed all the obstacles to devotional service. So Krishna can make our life also free from all problems, provided we do that process. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Arsanam. Otherwise not possible. Even for a so-called devotee was taken to devotional service, but it's not absorbed, not working on that absorption of the mind in Krishna's pastime. And then it'll be difficult for him also. There'll be some so-called little problems will come. Eventually, if he's devotee and he has good association of advanced devotees, if he's a Madhyamadikari minimum, he will take shelter of Uttama Bhagavatas, and through their association, he will become very advanced in devotional life. So I'll stop at this part. If there are any questions or comment.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So,
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, Duryodhan also he got moksha, right?
Well, I guess so. I don't know. That's an interesting question.
No, I have been told that he did get moksha because, some of the good karmas that he had, though it is surprising because,
Well,
everybody...
he died. He also died when Krishna was still there on the planet. Krishna, so he must have gotten some moksha, definitely, but not necessarily going back home, back to Godhead, because his moves were not favorable for pleasing Krishna. Rather, not favorable. He gave so much trouble to all the Pandavas. He had to suffer, and his own birth was very, very amazing birth he had. The Gandhari delivered a big chunk of iron or meat or something like that, like a big chunk. It was not like children. She was pregnant for such a long time, almost 13, 14 months or even more than that, she was pregnant. Normally 9 months later, you bring out the child worship. And that finally this big chunk of meat was divided into 100 parts, and Vyasadeva, by his mystic potency, hung them in a pot for a long time, and that's how the babies were born. They were not born in a natural way. Right from the day when they were only interested was to become demoniac. They were demons, actually.
And Prabhuji, Valmiki ji is considered Bhagwan Valmiki, right? Is he?
Bhagavan, that sort of title is given to many devotees also. Bhagavan Narada Muni. Bhagavatam comes up with these terms of Bhagavan to many great devotees also. They are also sometimes put to it. Not that they will think that they are the controllers of the world. No. Narada Muni was also called Bhagavan, but he knew he did not create this world.
Yeah. But now there's a temple being built near Lumbini. There's a place in Nepal and near in Amritsar, little further away, for Valmiki Bhagwan. I read.
Could be. I mean, the great sages are also there who are also part of the Lord's pastime. And some temples are in all of them.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. We'll stop at this point. If there
Hare
anybody has
Krishna
questions.
Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you so much for this nectarian class with 2 verses. And when you was explaining about Draupadi's pastime with the Durvasa Muni, the small piece of food also, if she
Yeah.
when she offered to Krishna, all food,
Yeah.
all they were hunger gone.
Yes.
So I remember from childhood, my mother used to put some little piece of roti in the roti pot when all the rotis are gone, like maybe after our dinner or that time or lunch. She put the small piece of roti in that pot. So I was not knowing the reason behind that, but now after reading this pastime, we can come to we can relate that thing. Why our ancestors, our parents do these things.
In South India, what they do when they offer the food, everything, the first rice, Mahaprasad or something, is offered to the crows. Similarly, in different parts of India, the idea is, we as householders, one has a little responsibility to other living entities also. So if you give chapati, then some living entities will come and take it every day. They are all domesticated animals. They move around humans. They get their food and whatever needed. Not like you have to give them a big feast there, but even like 2-3 tablespoons of rice or whatever it is. The main thing is other living householders must take care of all living entities. That's one of the duty. Not only the guests, invited, non-invited, but even animals, birds. There are snakes who are coming and eating up all these things. They have their little quota. We have our big kitchen garden, but these monkeys, they come in hordes, like 20 monkeys. So all the thing which is outside the what is it called? This we have a mesh there.
Compound
Anything
wall.
that grows out,
Compound wall.
not wall. On top of the wall, we have a 20 feet big monkey cage, like a cage. And this all outside food, whatever the monkey eats, they will eat it up. You cannot control them. They come in 20s, and exactly they know when to come. All the tender leaves are eaten up, and all the what is it called? The beans are eaten up. The tender leaves, the beans, the flowers come. They all eat up that. So outside the mesh, the monkey cage, you cannot expect to pick anything. But whatever is remaining inside, we take it. So at least we are taking care of a few monkeys. And the idea is we started the kitchen now. The kitchen is almost getting done. The last part of the iron table, steel table is being done now. The work is starting. It's already started. And then we will start cooking prasadam once a week for all the neighbors. All these poor people are living. They're not really poor. They all have money, but they get into bad habits like drinking, other things. But let's give prasadam and to purify the atmosphere. As a householder, it's our duty. We have made a big tank of beautiful water, which we drink ourselves. We give pure water to all the neighbors. The sadhus are coming and going. And then we'll have this prasadam. We'll take it in a hand cart, and then we will play. We'll have a speaker playing Prabhupada's beautiful kirtan. So things like that. We have to do that. We have to be creative enough to see how everybody gets benefit. Not that we just live in this area and expect that, the house is meant for our enjoyment. No, it's meant for Krishna's pleasure. So the food is given to different living entities in different parts of India. This is a normal thing. Why they give food to the crows? I heard the crows are always communicating. They're not only representatives of the forefathers, but also communicates. And if a crow is crowing and our home, we know, oh, some guest is expected. And it so happens by the time evening or the next day or next 2 days, some guest shows up from distance place. So we used to tell, oh, the crow was crowing. We were wondering who's coming. So we were happy to receive the guest. So the crows, they help. They get you news. This was a known fact. Nowadays, it's not like that. You have mobile. There was no need of mobile. If the crows keeps on crowing, then we know some guest is expected. Otherwise, how do the guests come to your house? They're not letting you know. They're not writing a letter or anything like that. The crows, they take that message. They know who's connected to which house. And they'll go and sit on top of the fence of that house and keep caw. And then we know, oh, somebody's expected. And it happens. So we are getting help from the birds also. Therefore, we should always understand that we have a duty towards the society also. Prabhupada also said one time, some poor people were trying to gather some prasadam, remnants, devotees' remnants. And Prabhupada looked at it, they cried practically. And he made a principle that within 8 kilometers of the temple, nobody should go hungry. And that's being followed in Mayapur. And we as an individual household, we should also follow maybe in a smaller scale, not necessarily the scale of operation of ISKCON, whatever little scale we have. So we'll sing a little bhajan. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Everybody.
Radha
Jai
Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai.
Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai
Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai
Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai
Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai
Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai
Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai
Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai
Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai
Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Rama
Ram
Rama
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 Rama Hare Hare
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram Hare Hare
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram, Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva.
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva.
Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur.
Jaya Nitai, Jaya Guru,
Jai Jai
Jaya
Gaur,
Nitai, Jaya Guru.
Jaya Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari.
Jai Satchidananda
Sachinandana Gauri Hari, Jaya Jaya Sachinandana Gauri Hari.
Jaya Radharaman, Jaya Radharaman, Radharaman, Jaya Radhe.
Jaya
Jaya
Radha
Radha Raman, Jaya Radha Raman, Jaya Radha Raman, Jaya Radhe.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Gaur, Hari Bol.
Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila
Jai
Gurudev ki jai, Gauridhar Radharaman Giriraj Giri
Jai
Govardhan ki jai,
Jai
Grantaraj Sri Bhagavatam ki jai,
Jai
Sukadev Goswami Prabhu ki jai ho,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada's transcendental purports ki jai ho. All
Yeah.
glories to assembled bodies, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled bodies, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled bodies, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada
Ki
jai
Jai.
ho.
His Grace
अनंत
Rama
कोटि
Shraddha
वैष्णव
Prabhu Ji
वृंद
ki
की
Ki
जय
Jai.
Jai Ho. Jai Ho.
पंचकल्पतरु वर्ष कृपा सिंधु सपति पावनी
Hey
वैष्णव
Vaishnavi Pyo Namo Namaha. So Geeta
जय
Mataji is
हो.
going to India. I
Oh,
think today, right? So
when is she going?
Tomorrow, Prabhuji.
tomorrow.
Where are you going to? Which
I'm
part of
going
India?
first to Bangalore, then Vrindavan. I'm going for 4 days.
Then you have forgotten Mayapur or what?
Next time, Prabhuji. Next time.
None of you people come to Mayapur. Everybody goes to Vrindavan and goes there to your native place and then vanish.
No, no. Definitely next trip. Prabhuji is
Yes.
close to Delhi, my base, so that's why.
Yeah.
Achha. How many days you'll be spending time in India?
1 month, Prabhuji.
Okay, good. So next time you come, if you come to Mayapur, then we have an opportunity to invite you at our place.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I definitely will come.
Yeah. Sham Rasika, she always goes to India, but she always goes to Bombay and then go to her native place and then goes back.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah,
Nobody makes.
my Prabhuji always want to come Mayapur, but one year we will for sure come. We haven't planned for that. Yeah.
Yeah, this year
Okay, hopefully
Radhanath
that.
Swamiji was coming to Mayapur, right? He came this.
Yeah. He comes regularly to Mayapur, regularly,
So
with
maybe.
a group or
Uh,
by himself or something.
Yeah, maybe with
please
yatra
come.
or like that. Like personally, also we will come, Prabhuji, sometime.
Yeah, well, whether there is yatra or not, when you come to India, you should spend some time in Mayapur.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mayapur parikrama is very short. It's not so difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many important places of pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Mayapur and neighboring islands. Godrum Dweep for that matter. Similarly, Rudra Dweep, Kola Dweep, all these dweeps, they are places of pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Sure,
So
Prabhuji.
don't forget Mayapur.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. This time my mother had a heart attack and she got angioplasty, so I have to stay with her. So that's why we didn't come. But yeah, next time for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting Prabhuji.
yes, thank you for
Okay.
inviting Prabhuji. now that you have said
hope-
that, one will have an extra, pull to come.
Sure. Partha, Surinder Bhandariji, all of you should come to Mayapur.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Definitely.
Definitely I'll come. Anyway, my native is nearby. So anyway, I visit there quite frequently. And that is also Audariya Dham. So I am not qualified for Vrindavan yet. So Mayapur is my shelter as yet. I'm not qualified to enter into the touch my feet on the Brajaraj. So Mayapur is my shelter as yet.
Or whoever is going to Vrindavan, they can bring some dust and give it to you, and then you can put the dust on your head.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, then. Have a nice day.
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Happy New Year, Prabhuji.
Happy New Year,
Hey,
Prabhuji.
wish you also a happy new year of Krishna conscious life. Hare Krishna.
Let us chant 3 times for Gita's visit to India and safe arrival back to US.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank
You take my telephone number from Sham Rasika. Okay.
Yes,
And
Prabhuji, I will give her.
WhatsApp message.
Mhm. So let's chant
Hare-
2 times Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So happy travels, Mataji, and happy journey to India.
Thank you so much.
Come
I
back
really
soon.
appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, we are like a family, so then we do every celebrate or whatever. We
and
Hare-
don't forget the devotees.
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, Hare Bol.
Have a safe flight today.
Thank you.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol, Hare Bol.